Hi, it's Lel from Made by Marley. Welcome back to our channel. Today is part 2 of things you can make to sell at craft fairs or to give as Christmas gifts. Because as you know, last week's was up an hour and only managed to get through 3. So here are the other 6. So just watch along and I will show you how I transformed bits of junk, old bits of fabric, things I found in the charity shop and turned them into things that I can sell. Okay, it's a new day. First of all, I'm going to show you 2 quick projects to use IOD inlays. The first one was inspired. I found this in Martin's toolbox this morning and I was quite giddy about it because I looked at it and I went, that's actually quite a nice pool, but I've only got one of them. Must have used them on other furniture. And then I went and flipped it round that way and went, oh, that's like something you could hang a dish towel in. And then I got, oh, if I put it on a bit of wood, like so, I thought I could make something to hang dish towels on. So I'm not wearing my glasses, so Martin's already cut me the hole and I've painted it one coat of Versailles, which is this sort of greeny, creamy, yummy paint from Annie Sloan. This is going to be spray painted black. It's just in there at the moment. After I had found this, can I just say, which was really entertaining, Martin said, but there's no screws for it, Leslie. And I went, okay. So we've now rifled through every bag, and I have some amount of bags of screws and bits and bobs and things to find 2 screws that fit the back. So we have found that. So it's going to be
golden.
We're golden. We're going to spray paint this black in a minute, but it's just quick inlay projects. So I have the knife and fork because I thought that was apt for the dish towels, and it's just going to go on here like so. Yeah, just kind of centered. I am just going to apply some more of the Versailles. And if you haven't used inlays before, I have plenty inlay videos to show you. If you just, Martin, could you pop up there my, which one, my Annie Sloan table? Up there, there'll be a link to how to apply inlays. I'm still pointing. I can stop pointing now. So the trick with inlays.
Yes, memo taken.
Yeah,
yes, I would do that.
You do that for me, Martin. Thank you, my video monkey.
Everybody needs one.
Oh, everybody does. Yeah, Martin and I are quite giddy to get today. I don't know why. It's already past lunchtime where we were starting filming yet, but hey,
we had such good intentions for today. We are going to get up early. We're going to crack on. I got no idea what time it is now, but I think it's about 3 o'clock.
Yeah, we haven't even started. Yes, life is a dream. Okay, so I put 1 good coat of Annie Sloan. No, yeah, I've already coated it with Annie Sloan, and now I've done 1 nice smooth coat to put my knife and fork on like that. So my knife and fork are going to go there like that. And I was ill prepared, Martin. I didn't have my water. I'll just get it. Here we go. Now I prefer to put it on with a cloth, which I don't have one of those either. So today is going down really well. I have been over here prepping for ages while Martin's been cutting me bits of wood. Obviously didn't prep that well.
Did you get distracted?
A wee bit. A wee bit. I jumped around a bit for a while and then went, oh, a kettle, I'll spray that black. And then I had to go and tie it to the washing line and it all went a bit wrong after that. So that's my inlay applied to there. And we are going to set that to the side and come back to that in a wee while when it's dry. There's no wrinkles or anything on it like that. I'm quite happy with that. So we'll set this one over here. In fact, we'll set it down there. And the next thing I'm going to do is, I had this tray. It was all rusty. That's why the paint job is so bumpy on it. I kind of sanded the best of it off, but then I thought, okay, it'll go with the appeal. So I painted this with Annie Sloan's Tilton. And on this joy, I'm going to put this inlay, and we are going to come back and watercolor over the top of this one. I hope. I'm just going to cut a little bit to size here. Oh, I better put my glasses on. If not, I'll be missing leaves and all sorts of things. Now, just need to get these edges off. I thought this would be a nice happy tray if I put this on here. Yeah, so that's it. that's how it's going on. And again, this has had actually 2 coats of Annie-Sloan paint before I even started, because it was pretty bad shape. Squeeze on the paint, and you've just seen me do it with the other one. And inlays are a good quick way of just transforming something that looked a bit dull. I know I'm taking it right to the edges, but it won't do any harm with my rusty crustiness underneath here. And I've applied quite a bit of paint, so I don't, oh, there's a brush here and there. Do you ever have that when you find a brush here, you skip out your brush and then you can't find it again, then you end up applying it somewhere else? So just smoothing it out before I apply my inlay. Just going to do this as well while I'm at it. Now, my inlay is going to go in the centre. I'm not good at centering, you know that. And again, I'm just going to pat it down. I don't think you need all the rollers and brailers and everything else that people use. It's just overcomplicating steps. You've got hands, just use them. That sounded quite disparaging, didn't it?
I don't know who you could be talking about.
I'm not talking about anyone, but it's just I've seen people do it and I think, Now, smooth it out. And just make sure you get it right down to that edge. If you have this one, this is from
I'll find out.
Oh dear.
We'll put a link in the description, darling.
Yeah. IOD sent me it. It's the one that I did recently with the ottoman and the bees, and it's got a bit of everything in it. It's a nice one. So it had a sunflower in, and that's why we're doing the sunflower. So I'm just going to set this one aside, and while these 2 are drying, I'm going to just move on to another thing that we can do. So I'll just set this down here. Things like this sell. They're not you're not having to, outlay tons of cash for them. Bigger things, more money. So the smaller kind of like little things are good to just have. They're a little bit unusual as well, and they've just been made from scrap wood. And that's the joy about all this. We're just using up all the things that we have. I mean, just bits of junk. So I'll just set up for the next piece of filming. Yep, it's another old door project. I have so many old doors kicking about that I could do projects for every day. I could do 100 projects made of old doors. That would take me like a year to film as well. Right, okay, so I painted it just kind of, it's not even a blend. I just added a little bit of Florence, a little bit of Provence, and a little bit of Greek blue, and I just kind of mingled it around. It is an old door. It's got lots of dings and bashes and cracks and everything on it. When you are selling things like this, don't try and hide what they once were. Keep what they once were. What was underneath this paint was a sort of burgundy colour, and that is good because on this panel here, I'm not going to stamp, not going to stencil, not going to add transfers. I am going to add fabric. So Martin and I have kind of cut this to size. Well, that's to say I cut it badly and Matt came along and fixed it for me as best he could after my really bad hack job. So I've kind of measured it out. It's there and thereabouts. So this is going to go into here like this. But I remembered that over in Martin's workshop, ages and ages ago, God, years ago it must have been, in IKEA, they had these hooks going in the cheap bin. They're velour, so they feel very nice. So they look like this. They're quite kind of ostentatious hooks. They're velour.
Focus
on the velour, Martin.
Yeah.
So they feel soft and fuzzy.
Ooh.
Soft and fuzzy. I'm going to get Martin, the lovely Martin, my lovely assistant, to put my hooks on the bottom of here like this as a hanging thing. So this is later because I want to get this on with Mod Podge now. Mod Podging fabric. You can use this. It's not going to make any odds really, but you can use this too. And I happen to have this. This is the fabric one, so I'm just going to use the fabric one. But it's an either or thing. I wouldn't worry about it too much. First thing I want to do is just remove this, and I want to give this a quick good coat of this. because I want to adhere a Mod Podge to this surface, and I want to adhere Mod Podge to the back of this, smooth it down, and then cover it in this Mod Podge. Oh, all the Mod Podges. You know what? You could just use watered down PVA glue if you've got none of these things. Just don't worry about it. Right, okay, so the fabric one is incredibly thick. It's much thicker than actual Mod Podge. There's little bits of things. Leaves are falling from the ceiling because this is an actual stable that the horses were in. It's got like ventilation up in the rafters, so when it comes to autumn, you get random leaves just falling on your head. It's quite nice. It's quite autumnal. It's not so nice if you've just sealed a piece of furniture. Then it's not nice. Martin's going to see what you can do with this part of the stable, because this winter I'm going to try and keep working out here, just because my house is all like nice, and last year I ruined my carpet and my whole room had to be redone. So this year we're going to try and ride out the storm. So he's going to try and make this side a little bit warmer.
Or we can just redo the room again.
No, I don't think I can take it. That was just, no. So now what I'm doing is I'm applying my fabric Mod Podge to the back of the fabric, making sure that I get plenty around the edges. Edges are key here. I'm doing the edges first. Always good in these things to work away from you like this. My Mod Podge brush. This is my Mod Podge brush that I use for any, but it's a bit tight for this one. I actually bought this one to transfer. I'll tell you what I was trying to do. So if anybody can come up with the answer, email me. Made by Marley. I was trying to get Made by Marley decoupage paper, and I was trying to print it onto fabric, and this was going to be my transfer gel. It didn't work. I tried lots of different other things, transfer mediums, you name it. I am going to revisit it again. I just never seem to have the time to do it. But if you can, I mean, I've watched Deirdre put words on a fabric. I've seen a lot of people do lots of different things, but I've never actually seen them print the actual fabric onto white cloth. But that's a side note. If you've done that, just email me. I'd like to talk to you. Now, that's it. It's all glued up, and the edges are covered. Now, I'm just going to bring this back in. Now, Martin, this is really going to give you the eye twitch, so film but look away at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, just pull it up. I'm just getting one edge on first, the way I want it. And then... I'm thinking, for me, that isn't too bad. I bet you're thinking, for me, that's not too bad as well, Martin. You're right. It is on, and I'm happy with it. I'm just going to now... Do you know what? My brush is in the fabric one. I'm just going to cover it in the fabric one. But you can use anything. And if you get any of those little threads, pull them away, because you don't want them going onto your paintwork and making that look. So again, I'm making sure that I go right around my edges. And this is a quick one. I'm not all of them. I mean, yesterday's ones seem to go on forever, but this is a nice quick one that you can do. Just paint your door in advance. And if you've got hooks, or you could do what I just showed you with the handles that put it the other way around, and you can make it for towels, dish towels. Hooks, things like this sell because they're useful. Things that have a purpose. I mean, I like all the decor stuff, but things that have a purpose are good. Now, you just make sure you've got it really heavily coated and covered. All your edges are stuck down. And then, there, just leave it alone. That's it. You just leave it like that. Yeah. So I'm just going to let that completely dry. Once it's dry, I'll get Martin to put the hooks on, In fact, what I'll do is I'll seal the exterior with it. I'm probably going to seal this with wax, and then I'll get Martin to put my hooks on. But I'll set that aside, and we'll just move on to another project. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to make is a couple of journals. I bought these. They weren't the cheapest, but they were inexpensive. It's just that I wanted some quite nice quality. They've got to be hardback, and I got lined ones. I was actually looking for plain ones, but that'll keep the fold nice and tidy. What you need is 2 amounts of fabric, thin fabric, not thick fabric. Thick fabric makes them all lumpy and bumpy in the inside. So I've got this green one, which I'm going to make into a gardener's journal, and I've got this nice floral one, and I'm going to just make that one into a journal. So what do? Cut yourself a piece of fabric bigger than your book. This is a good way to use up pieces of fabric that you have as well. So this is where I'm going to do it, and I recommend you just do a side at a time. So let's do this. I had the fabric Mod Podge out, so I thought I'll just do all this at once. So you just make sure that you don't go over the edge at the beginning. But again, you need a good coat of Mod Podge. I'm not doing the spine at the moment either. I'm just making sure that the front's all done, because you don't want this to become a sticky mess too quickly. I mean, it is me doing it, so we could really get anything. This time round, I'm not dealing with the putting it onto the fabric. So over you go, making sure you've got enough to tuck in, and then just smooth out your front, and remember to go down your little kind of recess where the spine is. Just push that down with your hands, and then just apply it nice so it's smooth right up to your edges like that. On this side, go back this time round and do the spine, making sure that you've got plenty of glue on there and plenty of glue in that recess. Again, you're trying to keep it off going into the book. All the way around, not too lumpy when you apply it either. And these are things that sell. Wrap it up nice with some twine, put a pen in it, a nice pen, and just display them. You can do them with all sorts of sizes. I picked this size because my writing's big, so if anybody else is big writing, well. And again, but this time you need to kind of like pull the spine tight so you've not got any sort of loose parts. Push down in here again where your spine of your book is, and rub all the way around. Just making sure that you've not got any lumps in it. I'm only going to do one on camera, the other one I'll just do, and you can see. Open it up. Now this is the time where you need to kind of like trim, but not, it doesn't matter if you don't quite get it straight, because what we're going to do is our front cover, we are going to camouflage anything we do with our folds. Eventually we'll glue this page over there so that it's covered up. Oh, Martin, you must be having a total eye twitch right now. Are you?
Nope.
You don't want to see. So I'm just cutting a kind of good, enough to fold round. You don't want it too much, too little, but you don't want it too much either. All the way round. Now I'm doing this quickly because I'm on camera, but obviously you are going to take your time and do such a lovely job, unlike me. I'm just going to flip it so I can get this side here. Actually, I don't think, am I back to the beginning again? I'm not going to take anything off that. I might kind of straighten it up a little bit. Right, okay, so let's start with this back one first. Just check your spine isn't wrinkled. That is the most important thing. So now, when I was young and you used to have school books sent home from school, my dad used to cover all my school books. And he took great joy at doing it. It was his job. That and shining shoes. He used to do that too. Right, okay, so I've cut that at an angle, so that goes on here like this. Now, on this corner, if you do this and this should work out right, hopefully. So that goes on there like that. Is that right? No, it should have went this way. Ignore that advice. I'm just to do that side as well. So that's going to go on there, and that's going to go round there, like that. So let's start gluing this down. And we're just going to work our way all the way around. I'll do this one side and I'll do the other side off camera, just so that ignore my incredibly unstraight lines.
And your exceptionally tidy, clean hands.
And my hands are spotless. Spotless, Martin. Make sure you put plenty of glue in that part there, because that's going to give you a nice tidy corner. Just make sure you've got enough glue on it, but you don't want too much because you're not going to need it. So you see what I'm doing. I mean, this isn't rocket science. It's just covering a book. I forget which way.
You just want to go straight across on that previous cut. Sorry.
This way?
No.
This way?
Yeah.
That's it, Martin. Oh, do you know, there's a reason why I love you so much.
That's what I thought you were going to do the first time.
I have no...
Just cut straight across.
I think you'll have obviously picked it up by watching me. I have no coordination. I have no coordination skills at all.
Which is weird considering what you do for a living.
Yeah. None. Other people make things look so easy sometimes and I go, oh gosh. When I was learning to drive, I had to write L and R on my knuckles up here, so that when the driving instructor told me which way to turn, I knew which way I was going. Isn't that right, Martin?
It is. I don't think that's something you should be freely admitting about.
I'm just not coordinated, and I'm sure there's lots of people out there in the world that are not coordinated like me too, so that's okay. I mean, I'm flying the flag for the uncoordinated. Now, at this stage, what I would do is this. So that you don't see any of this nasty unstraight lines. Maybe your lines will be straight. Just make sure that you've got plenty of Mod Podge on this. Close your book. And when you open it, your back page will be stuck in there and nobody's going to see that ugly work that you've just done.
Perfect.
Okay, right, so that is the back done. Don't know why I started with the back. I'll go on and I'll do the front, and then I'll go on and do this one, and then we'll get on to making them look pretty. Okay, so I just designed some labels for the front of my journals, but you don't have to design your own labels. You don't have to do anything like that. You could use stamps to write journals. You could do it, handwrite it. You could use a stencil to make it on a different piece of paper and glue it on. The sky's the limit on how much you decorate these. You can put molds on them. You can do whatever you want. So I've done a garden season journal. So, because some people like to keep seeds and things like this. So I'm just going to glue this to the front of the book. And I'm just, again, I'm using fabric Mod Podge for this. Oh. Making sure that I get to all of the edges think maybe I missed an edge there. We'll see when we go to glue it down. And I will attempt to get it semi-straight and in the middle, which is quite a few things for me to do at once. So that's on there like that. And for this one, I am just going to get some twine. And I am just going to, now I want the tie bit in the middle. I'm just going to wrap it around like this. Now, what you can do, but I don't have any, is you could get seed packets, modern seed packets, and you could print out vintage labels, and you could stick them in this string, you know, at the front to give it a wee bit of zhuzh, if you felt like it, if that was your jam. I'm just going to tie this in a little knot, and I have a tiny little tassel here that I made for a Christmas bauble, and these are really easy to make. You just get a skein of embroidery thread, and just I'll show you sometime. I'm going to be doing a Christmas bauble video, Christmas tree deck. What am I trying to say here? A Christmas bauble. Somebody asked me to do it because I put some baubles on my social media. So I'll show you how to make those little tassels then, but they're not that tricky. And then just cover up the knot of where you tied your tassel. I hope you can see this. Sorry, Matty, I went and moved. That probably is just upset your light. It's just so they can see me making this really untidy knot. Yeah, I would probably move it up a wee bit. I actually quite like it where it is. Something stuck to my tassel. All right. Okay, so that's that one. Put a nice pen in that. And that's a pretty nice gift. And it's made from scrap fabric that, to be honest with you, the two pieces I used had marks on them. They'd been washed, but the marks hadn't come out them. So I just picked a part out of that was okay to salvage. And so I managed to kind of like salvage some old fabric as well. So that's quite a good thing. Right, so that's the green one done. What am I doing with this one? This one, just repeat the process. Glue it on, and with this one I'm just going to tie with some nice bright checked gingham. And again, you could just, I mean, you could put something else onto it. Trying to think. I mean, seeds goes with the other one, but I don't know what you could do with this one. Well, that's not straight, Martin. That's not straight.
Bus tickets, plane tickets.
Yes. That would be a really nice idea if you were given it and you're right, you could do that.
Yeah.
That's a clever one. Yeah, bus tickets to go somewhere, or like theatre tickets, or somewhere nice. If you were given something like that as a gift for Christmas, you could tuck it inside as well, and they could write about it in their journal. And this one, I'm just going to do a nice bow. We'll see. I'm seeing a nice bow. I'm just going to move it up slightly. So that's another couple of things made. Yes, see that? See that skill? You're going to probably have to fiddle around with this till you get it to look pretty. I'm just going to cut that up like the... Yeah. So there, that's the journal, and if you want, you can put a tassel on that one as well. I'm not going to, but you could double bow it. I had the, oh, let's do this for a little bit of zhuzh. Oh, I don't think I can. I don't have enough wire to put it on. That's a shame because I would have done something like that. But anyway, right, so that's 2 journals made out of scrap fabric. Okay, so I've got a cushion cover here. I just took the packaging off it. I got it in the pound shop for... for £1.50. Right, so the price and sum of £1.50. It's already got a yellow mark in it because it came off my hands. Not a good look. Right, okay, so first thing I did was I got a circle. This was what I used, the top of my Das Clay bin, and I just drew the circle with a fabric pencil. on the side. This is just a little bit of freehand painting. Don't get scared. We can tidy it up. We'll put Poscas over the top and make this look pretty at the end. Hang on a minute. It was cold in here. Right. Okay. What do you need? Colours: Capri Pink, Antibes Green, Amsterdam Green, and Florence, and a little squish of water here because you don't want your paint to be too thick. Okay, so basically, now this is not going to be tricky at all. Basically, we are just going to be doing, and this is why you need quite a lot of water on your palette. We're just going to be doing leaves all around in a circle here. You don't need to be Picasso to be able to do this. I promise you, it is super simple. And maybe I need a bit more water on all of these just to make them run a wee bit more. Yeah. Okay, so I'm thinking some holly. And all I'm going to do, and it's going to be very dull for you to watch, is I'm just going to alternate my different greens and just do something all the way around in a circle, keeping outside of this circle here. I don't want anything in here because we're going to put a bit of stamping in here. So back to this colour here, and you can make it as big and as small as you want, your leaves. And as I said, they don't need to be perfect because we're coming back in with some Posca. Could do something like this behind here. So all I'm doing is I'm going to be doing a design all the way around with different colours to do different leaves to fill out my circle. That's all I'm going to do all the way around. And then once I've done that, I'll come back and we'll start to put some berries and that kind of thing on it. But yeah, I'm just kind of like filling it all out and doing some holly and then doing some like ordinary leaves like in here. Need more water, but you just need quite a bit of water for this, okay? And then when we're done, we'll give all this a good iron. But right now, we're just working on getting these leaves on, okay? Okay, I forgot to say before I started this, I put the plastic of an inlay or decoupage paper inside just to make sure that it didn't bleed through at the other side. I forgot to tell you that. And I went and just put the red berries on because you understand the concept. You're just roughly painting something. And that's all you're doing. You're just roughly painting it. We're not expecting Picasso here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a Posca pen and you are going to start to give this some life. You're going to go around it all. And I'm using the thick one, the thick tip here. I might come back in with a thinner once I've got the details. And all you're going to do is you're going to draw around it, but you're going to be a little bit more ostentatious when you draw around it. You know, you're going to like kind of go a little bit kind of twirly. I'm trying to think of a word to describe it. You know, like you're going to go over it like that, you know, and bring it right out to the edges, right over your dots. Anything where you've painted, you are going to go around it with your pen. And you can use black at this stage instead of cream if you wanted to. I'm using cream because I think it'll just brighten it up a wee bit. But what you decide, you could go around it with green, you could go around it with anything. I'm going to come back and put the details in the leaves with a smaller pen, but just literally, you're kind of like just treating it like it's painted. You know, when you paint something, you're just kind of painting with it. So I'm going to go around all of the detail now off camera because you understand what I'm doing here. I'm just going around it all with my Posca pen and just highlighting it all just to make it look like it's been painted. Yeah. Okay, so I did the cream all the way around, and now what I'm doing is I'm just using a thinner one to kind of like do the sort of leaf parts. I don't think I went around that much, so I'll just do that. Or I've missed here as well. We've been a bit cheeky. Just putting a little highlight in the berries. With the finer nib, if you're working on fabric, if you kind of have it this angle instead of that angle, because it pulls, see how it's pulling and it makes a little white dots, but if you do that, you'll get a nice smoother line. And occasionally here and there I just popped a little bit of snow, not on all of the leaves, just here and there. I haven't done the highlight down there. Yeah, so that's that done. Now next I have the words joy to the world. Yeah, I just sang there, Martin. That's not good, is it? Yeah. I think before I do stamp this, no, I will keep the plastic. It's just the plastic's kind of making it a bit bumpy. But we will see what we can do. I have a mini roller. I've got some Annie Sloan's Athenian Black. I am not inking it because it will not be, even though my ink pad yesterday was so saturated with ink, it still won't do me what I'm looking for. So just off camera, I will do my J. And these are IOD stamps. This is where it could all go horribly wrong for me. I'm not good with letters and straightness all at once. Whew. I could have did a wee bit of masking tape, which would have kept me straight. That's a top tip for you. Stick a bit of masking tape for you. It's a top tip for me. It's too late. Making sure that I've got paint on all the surfaces. I'll stand up for this. Yeah. Oh, I just shifted it there, just at the very end. So once this has been done, I've just got my Y to do. I am going to let it dry, then whip over to the house and give it a quick iron because there's some more things I want to do to it and it needs to be heat sealed before I go any further. You know, bless laid plans. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm actually having quite a lot of fun today. It's been good fun. Martin has just made the most amazing cup of tea, which is sitting here. This is the most amazing cup of tea right now in Scotland. It's getting quite cold out here now to start to work during the day, all day. There we go. So I'm going to get on and I'm going to heat seal this. Best print in the world, is it? Maybe I just needed to put a bit more paint on it. Let's try that again. Oh, are you filming me? Are you filming me soon? Let's try that again. Yeah. Let's try it again. Try this. I might go back over my O as well. Yeah, that's a bit better. I'll do my O off camera since I didn't know Martin was filming me, and there's not really much I could do with this. I could try and pick it off when it's dry, we'll see, but I think that's just on there for good now.
Do something in there with a little trigger of holly or something. A little bit of colour.
Do you think, Martin? Yeah. Okay, right. Well, that's what I'll do off camera. I'm going to put a little twig or something in there, Martin says. I don't know what a twig of what, but we will see. Are you still filming me making mistakes?
Cut all this out if you want me to.
No, I don't mind. It's normal. It's good to be normal. Not be something you're not. Right. There we go. Fabulous. I'm happy with that now, apart from this, which, as Martin says, I could put a sprig of something, whatever he means, in front of there. Okay.
A little stamp. You know.
A little stamp.
You can then hand paint in or something, you know.
I could do, or I could just
leave it.
I don't know what I'll do, actually. I don't really like that smear, so I'm going to have to try and think of something. Oh, top tip, when you've got paint on stamps, stick them straight into your water. Do not leave them sitting there. That's not good for them. Okay, I'll go and iron this now. Okay, it's had a good heat seal with a hot iron. I normally do with a dish towel over the top and then really press down, iron it hard, take it off and then just iron it with my iron. what did I do about that bit in there? There wasn't really much I could do, but just a sort of kind of tip to make it look less worse if it happens to you. Get a really piece of rough sandpaper and just kind of sand it. There's nothing much I can do. I'm a bit annoyed, but never mind. It's not going to be the end of the world, is it? Right, I've got some pom-pom trim. Who doesn't like a bit of pom-pom trim? I mean, come on. Everybody does. So I'm just going to, this is why I drew the circle in the beginning. I've got my really hot glue gun because my new one has already broken. Yes, it's already broken. Ginny told me she had the same glue gun and it's a brilliant glue gun. Yeah, well, I'm not going to say any more about it. So I'm just going to kind of try my best to follow my line. But as I said, you know, it's kind of tricky for me to do these things. I'm just going to make a circle all the way around my joy sign, my joy words. My mouth's not working now. And once I've done that, I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do. This is going to go all the way around here. And I've got myself a lovely red gingham bow for down the bottom. So this is what's going to happen.
That's a cushion cover.
Is that a cushion cover, Matt? Do you like that? You can have it for your bed.
That's a Christmas cushion cover, isn't it?
Right, so I'm just going to get on and glue this all on here. And that way we will be done with this. Okay, so we're hopping back over to the knife and fork for the dish towel hanger. And I'm just going to remove the inlay. So it's just the same way as you put it on. Just apply water, especially kind of around the edges. It's probably better taking it off with a cloth as opposed to spraying it, I always think. But I don't have a cloth available, but I do have some kitchen towel now. Okay. And then you just leave it a couple of minutes until you can get an edge to pick. Aha. Nope. Not quite. I now have an edge to pick. So this is the knife and fork. Boom. And I'm going to put a wee bit of a stamp across here, just because I can. This stamp is from the Adornment. Adornment? Yeah, this is Adornment, not Winter Adornment, just Adornment. Oh, there's an awful lot of adoring going on. Let's hope this is a little bit less juicy than yesterday. It just makes it look less like a plank of wood that you found in your shed. That's the good thing about bits of wood. Never discount them. They can be turned into all sorts of different projects. Martin and I have been doing that for a long time. Haven't we, Amo?
We have.
Right, so like so, et voila. I'm going to get the lovely Martin to attach this way up onto my thing. I'm at the wrong angle to do this, but it's going to go on there like that. And then this is going to hang up like this with the dish towel in. Now I do need to seal it, so I'm going to go away and seal it. And then we'll get this attached on here. Get Martin to put a wee hook on the back. But that's cute. And do you know what? It sparked. This is what I think I always look at what you have, because it was just I held onto that handle and I flicked it the wrong way around and I went, oh, you could hang something on that. And then I thought, dish towels. In my house, what happens is they just get chucked on the radiator. So yeah, dish towels. That's quite a cute thing. Right. Okay, so that's that, because I need to go off and seal that. But let's get to this. The tray came out fine. I removed it. There was a tiny little patch down there where there was rust underneath the tray, but I just touched it up. I wasn't too worried. I'm going to set up with some paint, because I have the reason why I took this one off a little bit earlier is because I have spray sealed it, because this is an inlay and I want to paint over it. And remember, inlays are live. If you added water to it, it would smear, so that's why I put coat of sealer just on it. So I'm just going to get little brushes and things that I need. I'm not going to do too much to this. I think maybe put some stamping around the edges and just kind of maybe some watercolour some brown on there and make its leaves a little bit more orangey yellow. Okay, so on my palette, which was a pot that Martin's just told me he lovingly cleans, is some Hornflower. These are all Annie Sloan, Hornflower, Barcelona Orange and Tilton. This has been spray sealed. You need a bit of water. I just want a little bit of brown. I think I've over-egged how much paint I need for this project, but hey-ho. You want your paint nice and wet, and I think I could do with more water. I'm just kind of giving it a little bit of brown. I've got some darker here for around the edges, but I'm going to have to kind of like use it like sort of kind of like a watercolour. Okay, you don't want to eradicate the detail underneath. That won't be very good. So that's all I'm doing for the centre. Not very complicated at all. There we go. I told you these were quick projects. I'm dipping some orange into my yellow just to kind of change the yellow a little bit. Just need to get this sort of right colour. I want a different colour than what I've currently got on my... Now, I'm just going to kind of like touch over some of these. I think I could do with a little bit more orangey colour. Yeah. And I'm just kind of going round it just gently. I'm not painting it in. It's just giving it a sort of different sort of kind of tone. That's all I'm doing. Just here and there. And plenty of water on my brush so it's not eradicating any underneath. Just making sure that I've got... Yeah, it's just a suggestion. There we go. And that just gives that a nice sort of, a little bit of more tone. And it saves it looking so black and white because I did put it on a yellow tray. So I thought, you know, I don't want it to be too, like you can't really see it. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Now, I was sillily didn't get a green. So what's that green? I think I'm going to go with a dark green. So I'm not going to make a huge room on my palette, but I just need a tiny little bit this time. I don't know why I took something. Just water it down. I won't just stick my finger in the orange. The dark ones need a lot more water because they're darker. So yeah, just again, just kind of making sure that it's got some sort of colour on it. Same on this side. It's a bit dark. Put water on it. Give it an appearance of a sort of watercolour. And there's a leaf up here, which I'm going to do. There we go. And there's some leaves here. There, brilliant. Now I'm going to get my letter stamps down, set up for stamping, and I think I'm going to stamp around the edge. You are my sunshine. There we go. That's not cheesy. And I'm just stamping on You Are My Sunshine round the edge of the tray. And then once I've done that, it's going to be thoroughly sealed back and front, and I'll seal the other one with a fork at the same time, and then we'll dip back to the hanger with the fabric and we'll get that finished up. Okay. Okay, so this one's finished, and how nice as it came out. It's really nice. I sanded back some of the areas. After this was dry, I sealed all the way around it. Before I did that, I sanded because I knew there was the burgundy underneath, just to reveal it and give it a little bit of distress. Martin's put my velvet hangers on it, and this is how it looks. How nice is that? I mean, I sound surprised, but it's just I really like the colours on this. Oh, I would think it would be nice in my house, but I'm not doing that. Anyway, so yeah, fabulous. Like that. So that was that one that you didn't quite see finished. Look at this. How cute is that? Actually, Amber was mocking the cutesy sort of thing, but it's actually really cute. To finish it off, I just got my StazOn ink and ran it around the detail just to kind of give it a bit of a frame. Back and front have been done and properly sealed. Remember your backs. People look at the back. The Eat dish towel holder. There was a big gap up there that Martin and I didn't like, so we put the word Eat in it, and this is where you hang your dish towel. The back of that obviously has been finished as well. So that's another 3 things. I think we're at 9. I'm pondering whether to do 10 or not. I mean, I don't know whether I've got the will to live, but I'll see what I can muster. Have you ever seen those metal teapots in charity shops? I see them all of the time, and I always see them and I think, what could you really do with that? Anyway, I was in a charity shop and I bought one for 99 pence. I've just sprayed it black. It's just the stainless steel ones. You know, I see them all the time and I think, what could you really do with them? So I've sprayed it black and I'm thinking of doing a little bit of maybe freehand sort of painting, or maybe just Posca pen or some sort of detail on to fancy it up. So I could maybe do the last one as just a quick thing of what to do with these stainless steel objects that you find in the charity shops and the thrift stores that you just don't quite know what to do with, because I see these all of the time and I think, well, what would you do with it? But I think once I've done it, I think I might seal it with dishwasher Mod Podge and see how it fares. But anyway, we'll clear the decks. We'll do one more and I think that makes it 10. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to keep this design really simple. What I'm going to do is, it's hard because I'm kind of like going it the wrong way, just so that... okay, so I'm going to start with this colour red. And I'm just going to go for a sort of bargee art sort of style and do something like this. And this is this is so simple, anyone can do it. Martin, I should be making you paint this. Yeah. So 3 circles on this side, and let's keep it the same 3 sort of circles on this side. I'm going to dry those off before I do anything else. It's nice to paint on the metal, nice and smooth. So yeah, something like that. Yeah. And I think we'll do something like sort of circles around the top. Well, circles, that wasn't much of a circle, was it? This one here is going to be squidged in. Always, doesn't matter. We'll make these ones a little bit bigger. See what I did there? Yeah, something like that. I think that's probably enough to start with. We'll put one on the spout here. So I'm just going to dry those and we'll be back in a minute. Once you've done your red circles, if you just kind of like do some pink in the center of them, that one's been done, and then you just get a brush, and I'm trying to get it so Martin can see. You do just some leaves, and you do the same on the top and on the sides. So once you've got to this stage, really it's just about going crazy and having fun. I must remember that one in there behind the handle is wet. So we're at a really funny angle for doing something like this, but well, okay, so hang on, I'll do it flat. I'll fit in around you and he's trying to get past things and he can't. Right, okay, so something like to start with, and then something like that. And you just go around having fun now. It's not a, like, and you just kind of like do your roses. I mean, these are just like, very simple and very crude. I am going to put some more colours on here, but just something like this. Now, I must remember this one here is wet, so just in case you want to see that again, something like this, like this. I'm really not too bothered how that. So that's the first pass of these. First pass, yeah. I'll do the first pass around the whole thing, and then we'll come back again. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm just getting a limer sort of shade of green, and I'm just kind of scribbling inside the leaves. That's all I'm doing. I've done it all the way around, and I'm just about to kind of do it up in the top. In the top, it'll just be kind of like a little bit, because there isn't a huge amount of room for that. Just adds another colour onto it and stops it being so flat looking. You can see there is no skill involved in this whatsoever. It's just a lot of scribbling. Now, what next? We want to do something brighten up the sort of flower. So I'm thinking maybe this pink, or maybe this pink. Oh, the lid fell off that. Don't like the fact that the lid was not on that one nicely. Let's just run some detail, and it's just kind of, can you see what it's kind of like swirly curly lines, if I had to describe it. Swirly curly, and you're just going to go around all of this with the swirly curly lines. I'll do one, I think, with everything I'm going to do, and then be a bit more solid in the centre. So that's going to go on there like that. Now, we want a design round here. Well, so I think what sort of colours are we going to be using? I want to kind of keep it in the same palette. I don't want to be going crazy with lots of different colours. I think probably the best one is really going to be this one. So we can either go twirly and dot, which we did on the candlesticks, or we can go like this. Let's try both. So again, there's no real skill to this. You're just going up. Imagine a little heart with a twirl at the top. That's how you know, when you do something after a while, you just kind of instinctively know. So twirly, and that's the heart. And let's stop at the spout. I'll come back round to that off camera. So carry that on. So yeah, we know we're going to do that. Now, I'm thinking with the green, I've got a green. Let's just try and draw a sort of a rough line under here with this green. Okay, I did say rough. I can't move my pen, Martin. You're so close. It's close up. Right, so let's pretend that that's nice and straight. Then what we can do is we can use the limey green to do the twirly under the twirly, this one. I don't know what you would describe this one. Well, I'm not sure. So you can see what I'm doing. Once I've done the sort of kind of cruder, thicker lines, I'm going to come back in with the thinner pens and do more like smaller detail like this around the top, like neater detail. But I think you're getting a big enough picture. I mean, I'm not wanting to just breeze over any of this, but I think you're getting a big enough picture to see what it is that's happening. I'm just thinking of kind of like barge art, you know, that kind of design. I always love doing things like this, but I like it when I've got way more time and I'm way less sort of rushed. But yeah, so that's all I'm going to do up the top. And I think, oh, I've dropped the lid. What I might do up the top is, this might be too big for the dot, is do this in the middle of here. I might do this in the middle of here as well. So I'm just doing little sections just so when you look at it all at the end, you'll understand. The pens work really well on this design because it's been sprayed. What could you do? You could do, in this one here, you could do, like, you could do tiny little hearts. Like that. Along there. And then once you've done this part round here, what I would do is something like, then do like a twirly, a sort of circle around that. I'm holding my breath, I don't know why. Like that. And you could probably recreate that down here. And then basically, now I've shown you all the steps, basically you just do it all again on the bottom. On the handle, you could just do little hearts. I did the 4 first so that I had my sort of general spacing for the whole thing. Something like that, and then maybe something like this, and then something like that. So if you kind of look at it from this angle here, you'll get what I'm going to do around here is I might do with a thinner pen, which I don't have the thin ones out right now, but I might do another sort of leaf here, a round one, and another one here. And then I might do spots in the middle of here, but I'm just going to fill the whole thing and the handle with this design. Yeah, and that'll be another one done. And I'm going to seal that one up. And you know what? Martin made me upset. We don't have 10 things. This wasn't the 10th. It's only 9. So it's only going to be 9 things. Because I'm not doing another one. That's it. That's it. My pens are going down. But I'll finish this off and then we'll get them all staged up. Okay, so that wasn't that arduous. You know, I managed to get more done this week. This is a really good one. I like the fabric on here and that turned out well. The inlay projects, no problem. Using up bits of fabric. I'm actually scared this just dropped, so I'm going to do that. Old cushion covers or cushion covers that you buy in the pound shop. These, I'm always finding these in the charity shop. I might keep this one myself because I just want to see how it holds up. I'm going to see what it's like, put it through the dishwasher and see how it all comes, just so that I know that I'm selling something that is going to, because I know I can go and get more, so that kind of thing. But what other kind of things could you do as projects? How many times do you see these? Oh my goodness. Every time I go somewhere, I find one of these. I'm offered them. Planters. People who knit. Knitters. You can put magazines in there if you want. But I think just nice flowers. You could actually seal it all and put it outside as well. You can make a Christmas version of this and you could put, you know, all Martin did with this is cut the rungs out of it and put me wood. Is that all you did, Martin?
Yeah, I took it had, you know,
it had the rungs, you know,
rungs, yeah.
And so he just went,
cut them out,
sliced them along and added me some wood so that I had surface. But you could do like a Christmas one and you could put like fresh Christmas greenery in, put some oasis in. You could do something like that, sit at your back door. You could sell them like this as well because these go for nothing. Right, so that, what else? And my old firm favourite, which never gets old, I love a good clock. This one here I bought in a charity shop. It cost me £5. It was bright yellow. It was from IKEA. It was a bright, there's no evidence of the yellow anymore, which is a shame. It was bright yellow, like this colour of yellow. And all I did was put a few molds on it, some decoupage paper, put a bit of distress around it, and it's got little shelves inside as well, which is kind of novel. So things like that, clocks, they sell. So this has been it. There will be a Christmas bauble kind of affair, but it'll be a short one. I can't do this again. It's taken years off my life. Nearly wept when Martin said this whole video is 2 hours 10 minutes. I went, oh, I can't do that. I will have to do it in 2 halves. So I could do videos where I don't really say that much, but then nobody would know anything and nobody would learn anything, and it would be very boring.
I don't think you could do that.
I think I like to teach, and I think that, well, so it takes an hour to do 3 things. It takes me an hour to do 6 things. These must have been quicker things. So I've been Lyle from Made by Marley. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you've got some inspiration if you're doing any craft markets or you're just looking for things to make as gifts. It's more economical, it's environmentally friendly, and people always love something that is homemade. They appreciate it much more than something bought. So that's what to do. Get out there and find all your junk and start decorating it. So if you've liked this video, please tell me you like it. Show me you like it by giving me a like and give me a thumbs up. Share it, because sharing videos on YouTube really help the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. That one's really important. The lovely Martin is behind the camera. Say hello, lovely Martin.
Hello.
We will both be back next Sunday, and it will be back to furniture because my hair's already go. I mean, I'm trying to grow my hair, make it grey, but I'm sure it's just got grey over the last few days because it just all been too much for me. I didn't even want to come back and do this, film this part.
I had to make her.
Martin had to make me. I was like, no, I'd rather just do a whole piece of furniture than come back and just do this. But here I am. So, back to furniture next week, and next week's furniture I think is going to be the 101 of how to use transfers. I know that a lot of you follow me.
You get so many questions.
Know all about transfers, but I still get so many questions about transfers, and there are people out there who have never used furniture transfers. So we're going to be setting the scene in a sort of barge art fashion, and we're going to be applying a transfer, so it's going to be quite interesting on a dresser. So that'll be next week. Spoiler alert, you don't need to watch it now. Just write in the comment, oh, that was brilliant, bye. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Let's go outside, the snow is falling down and every child is having so much fun. The snowman is twice the size as me, with a smile as quirky as mine. We're holding hands to keep each other warm while we stand and watch a choir performing all the Christmas songs that we love. Yeah, all the Christmas songs that we love. And in a while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire. 'Cause all I want is to spend this day with you. Let me give you a Christmas, a moment we'll fill with love and joy. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. I don't need any presents, as long as I spend this day with you. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. Ooh. I'm making plans of what we're gonna do. I feel so blessed that I can be with you, 'cause God knows that I've been longing for you. I just wanna hold you close. You know the stars are shining just for you. Let's take a walk, and we can follow the moonlight till we reach a place we can stay. Maybe kiss a bit and dream away. And in a while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire. 'Cause all I want is to spend this day with you. Let me give you a Christmas, a moment we'll fill with love and joy. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. I don't need any presents, as long as I spend this day with you. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. Ooh. And in a while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire. 'cause all I want is to spend this day with you. Let me give you a Christmas